There we go, got a simple little sort of dubstep beat. And one of the most important things really about dubstep is the groove. A lot of things that people sort of don't get when they try to make dubstep, they make it too straight and regimented, that kind of thing. The real important thing about dubstep is to kind of have that shuffle, the shuffly shake. It almost comes from garage. It had all, you know, super syncopated rhythms and stuff. So it's important when you're putting in the beats to kind of throw in those little off-kilter notes and stuff to kind of give it the shake. Like if I take this part out, one is pretty straight, but I added the little extra bit, just kind of shuffled off the beat. Kind of gives it a shuffle, a sort of triplets feel to it. It's just kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of that dubstep sound really. Like put your beats in and then throw a couple of the hi-hats off to the left or the right a little bit, just to sort of shuffle it out and get that feeling. I think that's a lot of things that some people miss when they're starting off in dubstep, is the groove, because it's a bit too straight. It's not really like drum and bass where it's just straight pounding. You've got a bit more space in there because it's 140 BPM rather than 175 or whatever. You've got a bit more space in there to sort of to groove around, which is kind of cool. But I always pretty much start with the drums, and on Always Audio they're all just single audio hits. I've got the kick drum. Everything's just straight audio hits in the screen there. On the kick channel I've just got a simple EQ there. That particular kick is one I sampled out of a house tune actually. So it's kind of dull. I've got a bit of quite a lot of top end on it there, just to, there's not a lot up there in that frequency range really, so I just boost it to get that kind of crispiness on it. And just a little one at about 70-80 hertz on the kick drum. I tend to boost the kick drum about sort of 80 hertz, 90 hertz, and then boost the bass about 50, just on a little kind of a small band peak on the EQ, just to sort of let the two breathe together. Another important thing about dubstep is it's a big snare, because there's not a lot of snares, you know, it's on the half time. It's nice to have an important cracking snare that comes and slaps you in the face. So normally I layer a snare 3 parts. I'll bring it in with the kick drum now. On my first kind of wooden sounding natural snare, like the main snare I put in there, normally kind of boost that around the middle there, sort of 300 hertz peak, just to give it the mid-range. It's great to have a on the snare, but you know, especially when you're layering it with kicks as well, it's good to have a kind of a mid peak as well on the EQ, just to really sort of give the snare weight and make it sound woody, kind of almost. So once you've got that, that gives the snare the real gristle. Now over the top of the snare, once we've got it in there, I tend to lay out a sort of a white noise snare, which is just a burst of white noise, just a simple kind of half a second of pure white noise. Which just gives it that airiness, and also just a regular clap. And the clap's got a little bit of a boost, about 1.5K on the frequency, kind of mid-top on the clap. So yeah, the clap plus the air is kind of a bit too tinny, but then add the snare we've got underneath. You get a nice big hit, so you get the air, the crunch, and the middle as well. I mean, yeah, it's very important to layer up your snares in dubstep. Most important to layer up the snares in dubstep. I know a lot of people cut out the snare from an amen loop and layer that underneath of a more natural snare, and gives it a lot of crack, but